We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships.
This is the Couples Academy Show. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
And I'm Danielle.
And we come to you every single morning to have great conversation and dialogue, connecting with people all over the world so that we can hang out and talk about your life, your love, your relationships, your family, your everything. That's what we're about. We're in part 2 of a series. Guys, we've been talking about 10 ways to recover from betrayal trauma, but today is part 2. We were just broaching the topic, getting into the conversation, and happy to continue it here this morning.
I'm waiting for you to tell the whole world what today is.
It's Tuesday. Tuesday, right?
Y'all know what time it is, right? Y'all know what today is. It's our anniversary!
It's our anniversary. Anniversary. It's our anniversary.
Like he was joking the whole time and he had already planned on saying it later on. It did sound like he was moving it a little bit too fast. But guys, it's our 19th year anniversary, and so it's really awesome to be able to spend it here helping you overcome hurts and pains in your relationship, because guess what? We all experience them. We all go through them. We have ups and we have downs, but you know what makes a roller coaster ride fun? The dips.
The dips.
Then you gotta climb back up, and then you got another dip. So we're here to help you through the dips on our anniversary, guys.
Yes, we had an amazing time last night celebrating our anniversary. And listen, give me a kiss.
It's gonna put glitter on you.
Give me a kiss. Now, she did that in front of the world, right? She did that in front of the world. She kissed me, folks. She kissed me. 19 years has been, it's been an amazing...
You can't just say stuff like that and not explain.
Okay, so she cannot do public displays of affection in front of nobody.
Yeah,
okay?
But nobody's here. It's just a camera. I don't need to be out. Like, I need a vote. Well, I know it's going to be split because some people absolutely do the public displays of affection, groping, grabbing, fondling.
Ain't nobody say all that.
Okay, anyway, ain't nobody say all that, but give him his way. I'm not like that. So we're gonna do a split vote. We're gonna see, right? I'm just curious, right? How many people are good with public displays of affection?
I'm saying, I'm grown, I'm married, can't nobody tell me what to do.
How many people prefer to get a room?
To do what, have a hug?
No, not a hug.
That's a public display. I'm saying.
Anyway, guys, you know what I'm talking about. Groping, kissing, fondling. Room or wherever it goes. I know it's going to be split, so that'll be a good little survey.
Anyway, yeah, put your comments in the chat box.
Or wherever it goes.
Yeah. But in the meantime, guys, this is what we want you to do.
Somebody says, I prefer PDA. Oh, don't forget to like. Hassani acts like he can't, nobody can see.
Girl, nobody can see that.
Oh, likes just okay. It's our anniversary.
I know.
It's our anniversary. We can do whatever we want to do. Guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you do not miss a show. But I see people already coming through with the comments. And there's a term, I prefer PDA, but not the hubby. What's PDA? Oh, public displays of affection. Okay, sorry. Just woke up. All right, PDA. Oh, yes to the PDA. I prefer PDA.
Thank you,
so
folks.
2 PDAs. I'm waiting on somebody to say, but she said her husband doesn't. He likes it private. So
I'm just saying.
You always got the yin and the yang.
I'm just saying.
Thank you guys. Thank you for all. Yes, thank you. It is our anniversary. We're very happy. Guys, I'm going to acknowledge you now since everybody's shouting out the happy anniversaries. Thank you, JD Pruitt, DWW, Mayan, Beatty. Hey, good to see you. Gorgeous, and Lakeisha, and so many others. Thank you guys. This is an awesome day, and we're so excited to be here with you. We got a lot of public displays of affection.
See there?
Wow.
'Cause that's my community. Y'all know what's up.
Okay,
Listen. If you're struggling in your relationship and you haven't had any public or private displays of affection, maybe you need to come to the Last Chance Weekend. It is now open December 10th through the 12th, 2021. We're all filled up for this particular one in November, but we just opened another date up. So make sure you come and do that. We're going to dive right into this conversation.
That is so meaningful. It's going to be a little meatier today because we're going to go in a little bit deeper.
Yeah, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're talking about trauma, right? So many of you who have been through any type of betrayal, it could have been an actual physical affair. Maybe there was a betrayal of trust for some other reason with finances. It could be a family betrayal. Who knows? There's all types of things. There's all types of things. But what happens is it can leave an indelible imprint on your mind, on your heart, and it's hard to overcome. It's hard to heal from. And it's interesting because when we were talking about this yesterday, I heard a few comments come in. Well, what about if this? And what if your husband that? And what if your wife that? And what if this? And so the reality is you can't decide to heal contingent upon circumstances and conditions that work in your favor. Because most likely it will not work in your favor. Most likely you will have all the opposition and all of the visible signs that make it apparent that you shouldn't have to do this because of X, Y, Z. Nothing is going to align. Nothing's going to be perfect. I remember, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it says, don't look up in the sky at the clouds. Don't look at the weather. Don't look at your circumstances to determine when you should move. You should move regardless of those circumstances to get what you need. Because guess what? If you're not healed and if you're not whole, you're in a bad, miserable state.
Yes.
And at some point, you can't look at your partner and everybody else and make them the blame. They may have been the reason why you're in this state.
Right.
But listen, you got to do something for yourself to get out of this state. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
It's all about making a decision, folks. And a decision, we're talking about a destiny decision to heal, which will ultimately change the course of your life. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just think it's interesting that oftentimes, especially when we are in such a hurt place in a relationship, we've not decided to heal, but we do make decisions every day. Like we decide to live in animosity and be angry and be bitter. We decide to go without speaking, go without having any kind of connection. And so these are decisions that we're making, and it's actually perpetuating that feeling of disconnect and that brokenness. So we haven't known really what to do. It's almost like we don't want to let the person off the hook. Many people have said that to me too, that if I actually forgive, or I have forgiven in my heart, but if I say it out of my mouth, if I let them know that I forgive them, then they may go back out and do what they were doing before, or they may think I'm weak or what have you. It's really about getting to the place where you recognize that you holding them hostage to their past is never going to heal you. It's called exoneration, which means, just like the president, every new president gets to exonerate actual criminals and let them go scot-free, and they can go back into society, they can vote, they can do all those things. Unlike a criminal that goes to jail and serves their time and gets out, they still don't have the same rights, okay? They're a criminal forever. They don't get to vote and all these things. They have a record. When you're exonerated, the record is wiped clean. So everybody goes free. And most importantly, it lets you free. When you let others free, you let yourself free.
Yeah, and the reality is many of you are criminalizing your spouse. They have done something wrong, and some, not all, some are repentant. Some have had a change of heart. Some have gone through an emotional, relational, spiritual transformation. They are better versions of themselves, and they want to be given a second chance. They want to make up for the hurt and the harm that they've caused. They want to do the right thing. But because many of you are still stuck in your pain, you can't see beyond the past. And you're robbing yourself of the present moment because you're looking at your spouse through the lenses of their past. And the reality is, if you truly want to heal, you're going to have to change this deeply embedded belief system. Danielle was just giving you several examples of what we say to ourselves and what we think and what we believe. Your beliefs have to shift and change. You have to believe in something different in order to do something different at the end of the day. Otherwise, you feel like you're betraying yourself if you just forgive. And that is certainly not the case. And if you want to move forward, guys, you got to start with that, your belief system. All right, we got a lot of points we want to make here. The next point in, how to begin to overcome this betrayal trauma is you have to accept what has happened. I think that's a big stumbling block for a lot of people, because we often hear, but why would this have to happen to me? And what did I do to deserve this? Like, we can, in our minds, though we don't consciously say this, we could see how it could happen to other people, but not us, because we're special, we're unique, we're cut from a different cloth, we don't come from certain backgrounds, and so this was never supposed to happen. And because of that, that makes it even that much harder to be able to properly deal with, heal, and manage through this type of crisis.
And this is a good time, because people are always saying, well, okay, how do I do it? I know I want to do it, I need to do it, but how do I do it? When it comes to, accepting it requires that you move into examination, right? We talked a little bit about this yesterday, where we will kind of stick our heads in the sand about things, and we move into like restrictive behavior, where we feel nothing at all. It's a self-preserving thing that we do to keep moving. We still have to feed our kids and still have to be loving. Everybody else needs us, but we're going through something, so it's easier for us to just numb ourselves. But we have to begin to actually look at the pain. And there's a process for that. And phase 1 is the discovery phase. And each phase of this examining process, the hurt partner and the betrayed partner have to go through that process. If I'm the hurting partner, I have to go through a discovery of what actually happened to me. Where did I change? The things that I used to do, now I no longer do. Like, you might be triggered when you go to the grocery store, or have like fears come upon you that someone's gonna walk up on you and shock you. Things of these natures. You have to discover what has happened to me. For the offending partner, they're the ones that has to discover, like, what did I actually do? What did I cause? What door did I open and allow things to come into my world? I have to actually look at that so that I can take ownership of that. And that's the first phase. Phase 2 is the decision phase. And this is all how we begin to examine. Okay, I've seen what it is that has happened to me. I've acknowledged all the changes and all the brokenness in me. Now I have to move into making the decision to heal, okay? I have to move into making the decision to let go of some things. If I'm the offending partner, I have to move into the decision of acknowledging what I've done and making the decision to change and never do that again. Now that I've made these decisions, what do? I move into phase 3, which is the work phase. Hello, call Couples Academy. Because that's what you have to do. You have to get busy doing the work. And the work is not one thing that you do. It's not, one letter that you write, or one conversation that you have, or, one moment of full disclosure. It is a process. It is a journey of working through the issues day by day. Because the thing is that issues are unearthed as situations occur, right? It's almost like saying, I can't say to someone, okay, do this, that, and the third when this happens, when I don't know what the circumstance might be tomorrow. You're encountering triggers and emotions and situations every day that you've made the decision in phase 2 to overcome. That's the work. Okay. And then you have to move into phase 4, both of you. And that would be the deepening phase, because as you're working through it, and as you're going down the process and you're starting to release things, and you're starting to feel better, and confidence is building in certain areas, you're still a little uneasy in certain areas. You're not sure. You don't have the trust that you used to have, or you, on both sides, you may not have the trust of your partner, and you may not trust your partner. And as you're, kind of creeping towards that, you're deepening the relationship. You're actually starting to reform or restructure a new relationship, because the old relationship is old and gone, and you really just don't want it back. So that is the process for actually accepting and moving on. You have to examine what happened and get busy restoring what was lost.
That third point you mentioned about the work, let's go back to that, because this is, to me, of all those points, and they're all necessary and essential, but that work, there's no replacing that.
You can't escape
it. Like, for instance, forget relationships for a second. Many of you want to be successful in life, in your careers and your businesses. And if you listen to successful people, and if they're asked, okay, so what's the number one key for your success? Hard work, hard work, hard work. Like, they all say it.
Yeah.
And so the level of work that they have to put into their careers and their businesses to become successful, they're sacrificial, they're putting time in, they're working all types of hours. That's the same level of work that you have to put into your relationship. And I think we are in a society where everything is a microwave. You know, we don't like using that crock pot. It takes too long. Can we just put the chitlins in the microwave and cook the chitlins in the microwave? You can't cook chitlins in a microwave. It won't. First of all, I don't eat chitlins, period. I don't know what that's like.
I don't know,
but for those that do, I'm just saying, you can't put that in a microwave. It's not going to work, right? We think we can just take 2 pills and wake up the next morning and boom, everything's going to work. That is not the reality. It's going to take labor. It's going to take dedication, time, commitment, energy, effort. It's going to be laborious. It's going to be painstaking. Sometimes you're going to want to feel like throwing in the towel and calling it quits and just giving up. But you've got to be willing to be committed to this process till the end.
Yeah.
Like, you can't put a timestamp on it. You can't say, well, I'm going to give it 3 months and then we're going to see. No, you go until you get the results that you're looking for. Because if you say, well, I'm going to give it 3 months. Well, now you're just trying. I'm going to try. See, try is non-committal. Try is a curse word. We can't do that. We got to put in that work to get the results that we're looking for. And this is why it's important to find other individuals who have overcome what you're trying to overcome, because they become a source of inspiration. They become a source of encouragement. And no matter how hard it is, you're looking at, oh, well, they made it. Well, we got to keep going. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep working, because eventually we will get the breakthrough. You just put a post on there, Danielle, you put a post on your Facebook page about our 19-year journey. You talked about the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the peanut butter and jelly story, the struggles.
I still like peanut butter and jelly to this day.
Yeah, that's my favorite sandwich.
Where's the crickets?
That's my favorite sandwich. I'm just saying, I had to pause on that. I had to give the peanut butter and jelly respect, because that's my favorite sandwich. But that's my point. Like, many of you are looking at people's now, and you're like, man, there's something you're so unique and special. You're looking at our now. You're not looking at where we came from.
No.
You're not looking at the struggle. You're not looking at the time where we were on the verge of divorce and we couldn't stand each other and nothing was working.
You're
we
not
hated each other.
looking at the hours of prayer on our knees. You're not looking at the fasting. You're not looking at the Bible reading and the scriptures and the comparison. You're not looking at the indecision and did we hear God, this, that, and the other. You're not looking at a couple trying their best to fulfill God's vision and his purpose for our lives. You're not looking at all of that, but you see what you see. And it says, how do you do that? We want that. Do you really want that? Do you want the sacrifice that it takes? Do you want the lows that are involved before you get to the high? Because you can have that, but you cannot circumvent that. You can't avoid that. You got to have all of it. And I think people miss it because, you know, at wherever you're at, there's still the dip. I don't care where you're at. We still have dips ahead because you go like this in life, y'all. Nobody's just this, okay? You go like this.
Right.
So you have to understand that there is a battle for every victory.
You better believe it.
There is a battle, so get busy battling. Why avoid the battle? You can't avoid the battle. It's just going to be one battle after another, you might as well face the battle for the fight that you want to win. That's what this is all about. You
will always have hills and mountains to climb. We just climbed a gargantuan mountain recently, and we took time to celebrate the mountain that we overcame. But at some point, you can't have that Al Bundy, mentality where you still living on what you did 20, 30, 40 years ago. There's got to be a new mountain. There's got to be a new hill. There's got to be a new goal. You got to be striving for something better, for something more. We all can have better relationships. Yeah. Even us can have a much better relationship. Oh, we will. Absolutely. We're going to experience the quantum
marriage. And based on these notes, I need to be doing more public displays of affection. Hold on, y'all. Like, nobody.
Can we pause on that?
We can pause on that because I'm good with kissing and hugging. That's it. So you mean to tell me that it's okay to grab butts, breasts?
Yes, all of that. All of that.
We're doing that, people? Like, I don't.
That's a bomb. That is.
Why do we do that in public? I don't know. Okay. All right.
Natalie, I need to speak to y'all today after this broadcast. How do you speak to us? reach out, 678-200-8996. There's a couple comments in here. Listening to you both has helped me tremendously. Yesterday and today had less triggers when Hassani said, pack all the reasons to leave and throw it in the trash.
Yes.
Thank you, Hassani and Danielle.
Yes.
See, tuning into this daily, let me tell you something. It may not be something you're hearing today. It may be something you hear tomorrow that will just transform your life. It may be something we did a month ago and you're listening to a previous video, right? You're listening to the replay. But you got to be committed to this process. It's just like, when you read a book, you went through 8 chapters and you're like, it's okay. Then you get to that 9th chapter that blows your mind. And that 9th chapter was worth reading the other previous 8 to get to that point.
Right.
And so listen, guys, your level of commitment to this process will get you the transformation you're looking for. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Couples Academy show. Be right back in just a second.
We're back, and you're watching the Couples Academy show. Hey, I just want to acknowledge a couple of comments. Where is it, Hassani? Okay, Sean, Olivia says, accepting what happened, that's my struggle. And I hear people say that a lot, and here's the thing with accepting. Accepting what is just acknowledging the facts. It's not saying that it's okay. And I think people get that kind of twisted. They think if I accept this, then I'm agreeing with it. I'm tapping my foot to it. Quite the contrary. Accepting what is just not being somebody that sticks their head in the sand and pretends that it doesn't happen. It's like somebody who doesn't look at their face in the mirror and then walk away and forget what they look like, right? It's just living in reality. What we do oftentimes, like I was saying, is we just decide, I can't look at that, I can't focus on that, I can't see that, I can't deal with that, I can't deal. And so we don't. And what happens is that it becomes internalized and we begin to harbor it in our emotions and in our body physically, and it starts to display in different ways, emotionally and physically. So we have to move to a place of accepting, which is just acknowledging this happened to me. I can't tell you how many times I've shared the stories of things that have happened in my past that I wasn't aware of as a child, just coming up through a lot of trauma, and then it'll come before my mind and I'm like, oh my God, that happened to me. I've got to look at that, accept that, and be like, okay, that's why certain things are manifesting in me right now. That's why I'm acting out this way. It's not the other person. It's not the situation. It's something bubbling to the surface in me. And so we have this opportunity to actually look at something, deal with something, accept what is, and then release. And that, my friend, that is the process. And here's the deal. What Hassani said earlier, it's so key. Sometimes we're surrounded by people that are not feeding us what we need to hear in order for us to move forward, right? They're going to tell you, they're going to remind you of everything that you said. And that's why we're real careful about, I think they're twisted a little bit. Is that okay? I don't know if
that's fine. You're good.
Okay. We're real careful about who we tell what we are experiencing, because not everybody is riding for you like that. Some people that you think are riding for you are actually waiting for your demise. Friends, family, and everything, right? Because when you fall, it makes them feel better. They got a failed marriage, so hey, he cheated on me or she cheated on me and I left, so you should leave. Yep. Don't you know the Bible says that if somebody cheats, you can get out of this situation? Absolutely not. Well, it does, but that doesn't mean that has to be your story.
Yep.
I love it. My pastor said this the other day. He said, your haters are just as important as your encouragers. Because guess what? Your haters are going to propel you to the next level. So you need to go ahead and look at the haters and say, you know what? I'm going to put y'all over here. I got a focus. I got a vision. I'm going to go ahead and accept what has happened to me. I'm going to stop hiding from it mentally, emotionally. I'm going to process through it. I'm going to turn back to my spouse. I'm going to figure out how we can work this thing through. Is it possible for us to overcome this hurdle, this hill, this mountain? Can we fight through this to get to the next level? Because trust me when I tell you, it doesn't matter who you're with or what circumstance, you're going to have a battle. So let's fight the battle and begin to connect and surround yourself with people that are feeding you and giving you the emotional and mental energy to overcome.
Now, the people who feed you, speaking to you, Mike, I love what you just said, people who feed you. And I appreciate you, Jackie, for feeding Sean. It says, Sean Oliver, you have to change your mind. You must tell yourself a different story. It is an intentional, not automatic process. This is part of the work.
Word.
Praying for you and your mate. See, that is what you're talking about.
Yes.
And this is what's so encouraging about this community who chimes in every single morning.
Yeah.
You're not just hearing us, you're hearing the hearts of other people and speaking and pouring into them. And that's what this is about. Jules says, mountains aren't always put in your way to hurt you. They can also heal you. Forever grateful. Thank you both. Stone Mountain. Remember when Jules climbed that mountain? And I'm telling you, she had every physical reason in the world not to take one step forward.
You know what, Joel? I'm going to tell you this right here on the air, okay? You were one of my biggest victories getting up the top of that mountain, okay? When I saw you get to the top of the mountain, I'm like, I could do anything if Joel could get to the top of that mountain. Because you were in a battle, my sister. You were in a battle, but you overcame. And all that was just an allegory for life, right? We always are going to encounter the struggle. And I just want to be victorious in everything that I do. Who wants to collect losses? Do you want to collect losses? Do you want to look in the history of your life and be like, failed that, quit that, left that, didn't win there? No, I want to say, battle here, overcame, next battle, winner. You know, what is it when they say boxing? If you never lost? You know, I'm not a sports
You're
person.
undefeated.
Something in O.
TKO. That's a TKO when you have a technical knockout. You didn't knock them down and they were out.
There's
for a
another
10
term
count.
when it's like something in O, like 1-0 or
10-0, 1-0.
whatever. 10-0. I don't know why I always try to give sports messages.
Move on with the show.
Y'all know
Stay in your lane.
I want to be a winner. Don't you want to be a winner in everything that you do? I'm going to look back in my life and be like, yep, that battle happened, but we overcame. We did it together. And that's what our post was today.
Absolutely. That's what it was all about.
So many battles that we encountered over the years, and we fought through each one of them to get to this point today. We didn't quit when we had many reasons to quit, but we didn't.
Yep. Patrice. Y'all, December, last chance weekend, that's God, because I threw in the towel this morning. I see Jesus. Well, if you see Jesus, then I better see you there in December at this last chance weekend, because guess what? This is why we call it the last chance. You didn't give up, you threw in the towel, you called the quiz, you were ready to go, had a backpack, papers almost filed, and yet God gives you a reminder, it's not over yet. So we want you to come through so that we can help you get to a better place. Then Valencia said, almost gave up. I think we all have been there. Haven't we all been there? You're in good company. So whether you almost gave up year 2, year 5, year 10, year 20. In fact, I just read an article the other day that's talking about the 25-year itch. After people have been together for 25 years, they've decided to throw in the towel, but yet still are trying to see, is there something that we can do to restore this situation? And I don't care how little. I don't care how few years you've been married or how many years you've been married. There is hope for you. There is healing for you.
Can I just acknowledge this one comment from
Please.
Sean? She's saying, for a long time I would be in random places and I would start to cry and say over and over again, this did not happen. And that's what I'm talking about. And I saw that you're processing through that. You're coming through that and getting to the place of acknowledgement. And I mean, we understand it. Like sometimes the thoughts that come upon us are so triggering that is a method of actually turning the thoughts off. Nope, that didn't happen. You can actually use that same technique to overcome. Think about that, right? You can use it to overcome instead of hiding from what is. Instead, we accept what has happened, and then we decide a new future. We decide what we actually want to think about. Good things, right? That honor and that uplift. So we can turn those thoughts off and replace it with a positive one.
You know, we have a couple who's here with us this weekend. Today's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
This week. From San Diego. And last night we went through full disclosure and they went out to dinner. It was emotional and she was crying. She was crying all throughout that dinner. They were walking around in tears, came home in tears. That is and we prepped them for this, that this would be a difficult day because disclosure brings everything out. And that is their mountain, right? And as Jules said, mountains aren't there always to hurt you, but to heal you. And so through all of those tears, we call them liquid prayers, she was able to release that pain to get to a better place. Woke up this morning in a completely different emotional space because she had the time to release everything that was built up on the inside of her. And I'm telling you, there's a testimony coming in the next 2 days that we're going to share with you about the transformation that they have had. And maybe you're looking for a transformation too. Maybe you want something different. Maybe finally you want to be healed. Listen, guys, stop waiting. Reach out to us. Set up a discovery call. You know, we do last chance weekends, but guess what? We also do private marriage intensives. That's what we're known for. This is where people reach out to us and we have private time for 3 days to help change and transform their lives. It's not too late. Maybe you need to start out with some weekly sessions. Whatever it is, get what you need to get in order to have the life and the marriage that you ultimately want. Guys, you've been watching the Couples Academy show. I hope you got something good out of today's conversation. We're going to continue on tomorrow. We're not done yet. We are just getting started. But till then, see you guys. Love you.
See ya.
Till tomorrow.